Maxine, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have not done one of these videos in such a long time, and I have a reason for that, which I will be explaining at the end of this video. But first things first, you guys clicked on this video because you guys want some back to school tips. So let's start with that and let's move on to a life update later on. My first back to school tip is have the basic materials ready. Now, I always keep my back to school basic materials ready in a little pouch. And the reason for that is because more often than not, all classes or most classes, especially in college or even in high school, would ask for pretty much the same things, kind of. So for example, 3x5 index cards, and then 1x1 pictures. 1x1 pictures are really important. And then of course pens, notebooks, especially notebooks. If your prof does not allow gadgets in class, honestly, that's really hassle. But you know what? You have to follow rules, so you have to start writing down notes. Pens, pencils, correction tape, those basic necessities, also staplers, things like that. So yeah, make sure you have all of the basic materials ready, and it's best if you keep them in a small pouch so that it's all everywhere. But of course, just make sure you don't lose it, because if you lose it and you lose everything, then yeah. I did that once, and I remember panicking to my mom because I could not find the pouch where I kept all of my index cards, my 1x1 pictures, my pens, and my pencils. But luckily, I found it just before I left. So yeah, just make sure you're responsible and you don't lose that pouch that everything has. Next up, what I like to do during my back to school first few days or first week is using one scratch notebook. I usually get a thin notebook or a thin filler, and I just write down everything I need on that notebook. And the reason for that is because I don't really want to use my normal notebooks until I know that that subject is really note heavy. There are some professors who want you to listen to the lecture and just look back to the PowerPoint later on. So it's such a waste of a notebook, because I'm the type of person who likes, for example, all of the orientation information in one area. Because for example, right, there are some teachers who will tell you on the first day of class you need A, B, C, D. And then there's the professor in the next class who will tell you need A, B, C, D as well. So it's best if you have all of the things that you need for this coming semester or this coming term in one notebook, so that when you're going back to school shopping during the week, or if you need to buy more materials, it's all in one area and you can just flip back and forth, and you don't need to refer back to multiple notebooks. So it makes it a lot less hassle too. And then you can also gauge how many notebooks you need, because for example, there are some classes that you are allowed to type your notes. If you are into typing notes, it would be such a waste, or kind of sayang for money if ever you bought 6 notebooks for 6 subjects, but then you found out you're allowed to type your notes and now you only need 4 out of 6 notebooks. I remember putting down orientation notes or first day class notes in different notebooks for each subject, and I was getting so confused, as in I didn't know how many papers I needed. I didn't know how many index cards I needed. I didn't know how many posters I needed, things like that. So it was just so confusing for me. So the best thing that I did in high school was keeping it all in one notebook during the first week of school, and then just transferring it if I needed to into a normal notebook and things like that. Now here is my next tip that is really important, and I honestly think that this is one of the best tips I can give someone, especially if you are running for honors. If you're running for honors or an award in a class or a certain grade, sit strategically in class. I'm not sure about you guys, but in college we are allowed to sit anywhere we really want, and I usually sit in the second row right in the center. And the reason for that is because nobody sits in the front in college. At least in my experience, nobody sits in front. So I always sit in the second row so that it's easier for me to see. But I, number one, am able to pay attention. Number two, it's easier for me to interact with the professor and to kind of understand the lesson more. And number three, I do not get distracted. And if I am tempted to get distracted, I can't, because I am right in front of the professor. I remember back in high school, because my last name is in the latter half of the alphabet, I was always sitting in the back, and I hated it. The reason why I hated it is because it was so easy to be distracted. It was so easy to just draw on my notebook. And really, the best thing that happened, especially for my after-school studying, was me sitting in the front. And the reason why I'm telling you guys this too is because when I sat in the front, it was easier for me to retain information, to kind of go with the flow of the discussion. And when I was going back to my notes after school, whether it's because I have a quiz the next day or because I just really want to refresh my memory on the topic, it was just so much easier for me to just remember and retain information because I was paying attention in class, and I kind of remember more what was happening when I was in the front of the class. So yeah, sit strategically in class, especially if you want higher grades. And also, that's how I made some of my best friends in high school. And my best friends in high school who I sat in the front with, one of them was the Strand Top Honor of STEM. The other was a Strand Top Honor in Hums or Humes. I don't know. I say Hums. Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear how you guys say it, either Hums or Humes. I don't know. And then me, I was the Strand Top Honor of ABM. So yeah, sitting in the front not only helps you retain information because you're kind of forced to like remember information and like just pay attention, and it also helps you find friends who have the same academic goals as you. My next back to school tip is wear something you feel confident in. Even if you have, for example, a dress code, you can still find something that you feel confident in. Like, for example, I have a dress code, but because I feel confident in this, I'm going to wear it. But, I'm going to be wearing this jacket on top so that I can still follow dress code, you know? But yeah, wear something that you feel confident in and comfortable in too. Because when you enter class and you're confident and you feel like you can handle the day and you can take on any topic that's going to be thrown at you, then honestly, my performance just gets even better when I feel confident. So maybe that will help you out too. Basically, just do anything that would boost your confidence. If you are allowed to wear makeup in your high school, in college, I'm pretty sure you're allowed to wear makeup, I think. But yeah, just double check with your school's rules and, handbook. But yeah, if you're allowed to wear makeup and you feel more confident with makeup, wear makeup. It's all about how you feel and what best is for you, so that you can study the best and you can pay attention in school the best, so that you can give yourself an easier time throughout the entire semester. So yeah, here is one of the most important tips I have to tell you guys. Read over the syllabus before the first day of class. Like, please read over the syllabus before the first day of class. Like, I'm telling you guys this because it is so helpful. Because first of all, you can ask questions and clarifications about what you need to do. So for example, I remember there were some instructions about like signing up for a thing, and because I was able to read it ahead of time, I was able to clarify if it was required or not. Even if it's not required, I'm still gonna do it, of course. But yeah, I would just like to know if there's like a deadline for certain things and things like that. And not only that, the syllabus also helps you know what topics you're going to be reading or studying during the semester, and that is just super helpful because it kind of just primes and preps your mind and yourself that you are going to be handling these topics, so that you guys can kind of understand a bit better what you're going to go through. And the reason why that the syllabus is just overall so helpful is because you can also plan out your entire semester. Like for example, if they say that a certain project will be due in the midterms, or if a certain project will be due on a certain date, then you can already plan out in your calendar and block off an entire week so that you know throughout around that time of the week, you have to work on that thing. But of course, some schedules change, so the syllabus isn't 100% accurate in terms of due dates, because of course there are some things like cancellations of classes because of the weather or because of things like that. So be sure that you kind of have some things penciled in that is according to the syllabus. And also something that I like about the syllabus, I get to know the topics that I'm going to be reading upon. So what I like to do before the class, and because I know, for example, that I'm going to be tackling topic A in the first week of class, I am able to kind of skim through Google and skim through some of the text that has been given, or some of the required readings or suggested readings that were placed in the syllabus, to see what I am going to be studying. And I just like that because it helps me feel more prepared entering class, and it also makes me feel a bit better about handling the class too. Because of course, when you enter blind, you're kind of like shocked with all of the information, especially with like all the information overload. But knowing some of the topic and skimming through it and having a basic idea regarding what you're going to be studying and what you're going to be tackling during that session will definitely help you retain information and set yourself on a good pace for the coming semester, so that you're no longer just like going to be shocked each time you enter the classroom regarding a topic, and you kind of know what you're going to be going through as well. So yeah, those are some of my back to school tips. I really hope they help you out, especially in terms of studying, because those are really what helped me in my past semesters, especially in college. But it could also apply to you guys if you're still in high school. Some of the information can still apply. So yeah, I hope that helps. And yeah, I really missed making study tips and back to school tips for all of you guys. So let me know in the comments if you guys would still like to continue seeing me create content like this. The reason why I honestly stopped was because I was getting kind of like made fun of for doing studying tips, and I was getting bullied, and there were a lot of comments about me, especially in college, that I was doing all of these study tips. Like, I remember vividly someone told me the only reason why I got all those medals in high school was because of the lifestyle I lived, and it was just so much easier for me to study, and it was just so much easier for me to work for it, and things like that. And it honestly made me feel bad. But now that I'm in third year and I'm still getting hate and I'm still getting comments about me, I thought, you know what? Might as well go back to my roots and provide you guys with some back to school tips / study tips to help you out, because at the end of the day, you guys are my best friends, and you guys, I just care and love all of you so much. So I really hope that this video helped you guys out. And don't worry, there's more study tips to come. I actually have a lot of study tips written down on my iPad right here. So yeah, stay tuned for those. Thank you all so much for watching. I love each and every single one of you so much. If you want to follow me on my other social media platforms, I am at SophiaMXNE on Instagram and on TikTok. And also, if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up and also subscribe down below. I would really appreciate it if you joined the community, and then we can all be best friends too. And also let me know in the comments what more study tips you guys need help on, whether it's time management or like information retention, things like that. Let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to help you guys out in my next videos. And yeah, thank you all so much again for watching. I truly appreciate and love each and every single one of you. Remember to smile today!